Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Now, today I'm here to discuss a brand new MMORPG. It's an action combat MMORPG. It is called the Quinfall. Now, this game has been getting a lot of backlash, a lot of drama in the last year or so. There was many people, there was many videos, content creators, you name it, saying that this game seems like it's a scam. This game isn't real, you know, blah, blah, Varek Technologies, they're just scamming everybody. Now, I've never really understood the whole scam. But I feel like people use the word scam way too much and way too easily when we're talking about games these days. Because in my eyes, a scam game would be something where they have taken all of your money, like they're charging for a product, and then the product never ever comes out. You can never play the game, you never see anything from the game, and then suddenly they just disappear. But up until today, up until this date today, they have continuously done developer updates. They have showed us gameplay videos, many gameplay videos of all of the systems. They've never taken any of our money. There was a closed beta test that happened earlier on this year. That one did have an NDA, but the reason why I'm delving into this today is because I'm pretty excited because I've been accepted into the closed beta 2, which does not have an NDA, ladies and gentlemen. So I will be making a video. I'll be doing a first impressions video, what I think about the game in its current state. Is it a good MMORPG? Is the action combat good? Is the systems good? And is the game overall in a good state right now? Because this game is going to be a huge game if they deliver on what they are talking about with the size of the map, the amount of content this game is set to have. Now, yes, a lot of this game has been procedurally generated, I believe, because they've said that, you know, they wanted to make the game, you know, not take 7 to 8, 10 plus years to create this MMORPG, which is fine. I'm going to be blunt here. I don't really care how a game is made, as long as the game is good and graphically it looks decent enough. But overall, as long as it has good content, it plays really well. The combat is good. The story is not over the top and not too boring. Animations are good, PvP modes, PvE modes, you know, dungeons, raids, mounts, all of that stuff, you name it. As long as that is good, I don't care how it's been made. And I think people need to, you know, just realize, like, why do you ask how, you know, anything else gets made? Like anything else in this world gets made. There's a lot of stuff that gets made by robots and AI in this world, and you probably don't even realize, or you just don't really care. So why should you care? As long as the game is good, as long as the product is good. So yeah, I'm really excited for that, like I said. And I'm gonna be as honest as I can. I'm not gonna just, you know, slate the game and call it crap and this and that. I'm gonna be brutally honest with my opinions and my thoughts on, and give positive, constructive feedback. I'm going to also be streaming this game over on my Twitch channel, so I'll pin this in the comment section down below. So if you want to watch me play the game live, and we can discuss and we can talk what's good and what's bad and what not, then please follow me over there on Twitch. And like I said, the beta is going to be about 7 days or so, 5 to 7 days long, I believe. Currently, we are scheduled for the 10th of July, so in 4 days' time. But in the Discord, they're sort of hinting at that we might actually be able to play this game, the beta, a little bit sooner. So yeah, of course, obviously, if the beta goes live sooner, then I will of course be streaming it sooner. I'm hoping Monday. If we can go live on Monday, that would be great. If not, I will be live on the 10th on Wednesday. So either way, I'm going to be streaming it. But yeah, I wanted to just take the time and talk about, there's so much stuff here. I'm just going to briefly touch upon the classes and weapons. So it's basically, they say classes and weapons, but to me, it's more like a weapon-based game like New World, like Throne and Liberty. So it's kind of classless, but but in a way not, because they have subclasses. So first of all, we have the Dual Axe class. It's made up of warriors who can expertly wield 2 great axes. This class is known for their ability to deliver powerful, crushing physical attacks and can overwhelm their enemies with devastating blows. And then in this one we have, there's 2 subclasses. So we get the Bloodmaster. Bloodmasters represent a subclass of the Dual Axe. These warriors use their axes to inflict wounds and bleeding effects. Bloodmasters bleed their enemies, weakening them over time and causes them to bleed to death. Then we have the Stormblade. This is the second subclass of the Dual Axe. These warriors use powerful and swift attacks. Stormblade delivers swift and devastating blows to their enemies and charge into the center of the battle. Okay, so yeah, that's really, really interesting. Then we have the Dagger. So then we get the first subclass is the Deathblade. The Deathblade wields their daggers quickly and delivers swift blows to their enemies. So they're fast-paced as well, and they deal sustained damage, and their speed gives them the advantage. Then we have the Shadow Stalker. Shadow Hunters represent another subclass of the daggers. So this is poison. So they inject poison into their enemies, rendering them invisible until they are destroyed. Okay. Shadow Hunters poison their enemies and attack with stealthy strides, delivering sharp blows from behind. So backstabs, basically. Then we get the Warhammer. So we have the Strengthener. So this warrior uses magic to strengthen and support their teammates. Strengthener improves the team's performance and enhances their defense and offense capabilities. Interesting. And then we have the Slow Devastator. So these warriors use a large warhammer to deliver slow but devastating physical blows. They deal high damage, but their attacks are slower and their strikes are more effective. So it's going to be quite telegraphed attacks, basically. Interesting. So one of the subclasses supports your teammates, whilst the other one is pure damage. Interesting. Then we have my favorite, as always. We have the Staff. So we have the Frost Mage. Frost Mage represents a subclass of the Staff. This is ice spells with slows and freezes. That's of course obvious. And then we have the Fire Mage, where we have the flame spells and fire attacks on their enemies. Fire mages inflict great damage by doing AoE. Huge. I'm probably going to be a fire mage, as I always am. I love myself fire mage. Then we have the Life Staff. This is giving me New World vibes. So with the Life Staff, you have a healer. So obviously this is just a pure healer, keeps them alive. Healers are tasked to maintain and revitalize the team's health. Then the other Life Staff class is the Magic Warden. So this staff, these warriors use their Staffs of Life to both use magic attacks on their enemies and weaken them with debuffs. Magic Wardens both damage their enemies in battle and strengthen the team's defenses. Okay, so the Magic Warden is more of a DPS healer, and then obviously the healer is just pure healer. Then we have a crossbow, so we get the Sharpshooters. The Sharpshooters use their crossbows to snipe from a distance, dealing high damage to their enemies. Ooh, interesting. So yeah, they're basically snipers. Then we have the Assault Master. These warriors rapidly fire crossbows, dealing rapid damage to their enemies, and their main focus is fast-paced. And okay, interesting. So we have one that can kite, and then the other one which is more up in your face and fast-paced attacks. Then we get the Longsword. So we have Strong Sword. They have the ability to wield a sword with 2 hands and combined strength and skill in their attack. So like a great sword, basically. Then we have the Devastator. These warriors use their great longswords to damage their enemies with stunning and devastating attacks. Devastator are particularly effective against vulnerable targets, so this is more of a CC subclass. Then we get a Spear, which is nice. We have a Lancer. Lancers neutralize enemies with piercing attacks and resist their attacks whilst taking the lead in battle. Interesting. Then we get the Valkyrie. They are skillful wielders of long spears and have the ability to disable their enemies. Valkyries deal high damage against the enemies whilst also assisting themselves or their allies by keeping the enemies at bay. And then we get the bow class. We have a hunter. So they live in harmony with the forces of nature. And when using these forces in battle, they draw on the strength of a loyal beast and a loyal force, using their abilities quickly and stealthily. So hunter, you get obviously a beast to help you in the battle. Then we get the critical archer. They aim sharply, dealing high damage to their enemies and making strategic shots. Critical archers have the ability to effectively strike enemies from a distance. So again, a long range peeler basically for DPS. Then we have, of course, the sword and shield. This is the final one. So there's a guardian. They are defenders of the battlefield and have the mission of protecting their teammates. So these sounds like a tank basically. They are armed with heavy armor and large shields. Guardians are at the forefront of the battle thanks to their high stamina and ability to minimize damage from their enemies. So yeah, the guardian is the tank. Then we get the sword master. They strike swiftly and sharply, dealing high damage to their enemies. The sword master has the ability to wield a sword one-handed or two-handed. So yeah, so basically the guardian acts as the team's safeguard whilst the swordsman poses a threat to their enemies. So the sword master is more of a DPS sword and shield character, and then obviously the guardian is your tank class. And yeah, so there is a lot of stuff planned for this game. Like I said, we have obviously PvE modes you can see here. There's desert. These are the biomes. So we have desert region, snowy, green valleys, swamps, mountainous areas, oceans and sea. And I believe there is actually going to be naval battles. There's going to be combat on the seas apparently. And then we have PvP. So in the PvP we have castle wars. So clans wishing to participate in castle wars must register on predetermined days. The registration process is a crucial step. Okay, so we get a big siege war basically. I don't know how many players this is going to be. Is it going to be 50 versus 50, 100 versus 100? We have to wait and see. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. And then I believe there is also, I'm sure they've showed like there's like an arena style. One thing I'm not too sure on. Oh, here we go. Castle Wars. Then we have hourly arena events. Yeah, so there is an hourly arena event. That's nice to see. Then we have Olympic events here. It says. So there's quite a lot. And then there's a seasonal event as well. So this looks like maybe it's going to be like ranked. Yeah, ranked. So there is ranked stuff here. And then on the PvE, there's rift events, and then we have tower events as well. So yeah, there is a lot of stuff in this game. Like I said, we just have to wait and see till I get into the game, test out the game. I'll try and do as much of the content as I possibly can. I'm not sure what's going to be locked and what's not going to be locked, but like I said, I'm going to have a first impressions on this channel, so stay tuned for that. Follow me on Twitch and join in the live streams, and I'll see you guys and girls soon. Have a beautiful day. Take care. Peace.